to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first update of my brand new beauty bank that I started this year. I decided at the end of December that for 2025 I kind of want to bring in a little bit less makeup into my collection, but also B, kind of need to spend a little bit less money. Not to say that I'm not going to keep buying makeup, because I know I will, and there's always going to be something that pops up. But no, I'm proud of myself. The new Beauty Bay palette came out, and honestly, last night I had it in my basket. I was about to buy it, and then I kept looking at the colors thinking, I don't want this. I actually have these colors already in my collection. I don't need this sort of spring-like muted pastel-y sort of, I don't know, flower-like vibes. I think ultimately I wanted to buy it because I was like, oh, a new shiny new palette. This will be, you know, popular to talk about. But yeah, then looking at it, I'm like, that's very, very pretty. It is very, very pretty. There are so many palettes that are coming out that are so, so pretty, but I can't buy all of them. I just can't. We can't buy them all. There's too many. And I actually decided, no, I'm not going to be buying that one. Even though, you know, their palettes are what, 15 to 20 pounds. I think that one is 20 pounds. They're so beautiful. They come out, they're very affordable for the quality that you get. If I were in England, I might potentially buy it, but I have to pay a little bit extra for shipping, and honestly, it doesn't really end up being that affordable. Alright, so in this video, we're going to go over any eyeshadow pans that I've hit in the month of January. We're also going to go over any new makeup I bought in the month of January, and any makeup empties I have to share with you. Now, I do finish other products, like I have some skincare that I've been finishing for, you know, every other month I finish some skincare. I obviously go through hair care regularly as well. I just never track those in my beauty bank because I find them not very interesting. But if you want me to include any skincare moving forward that I do end up finishing, I can. It just won't affect the point system that I've been putting together because A, I don't really buy skincare that much. It lasts quite a while, and then I really only buy it when I kind of need it. So it's more of a necessity item for me as opposed to makeup being a luxury sort of hobby of mine, I would say. Alright, then we'll go into a little bit of stats for the month as well. I don't have too many, but as we build up over the coming months, there will be a little bit more to share, but not really much has happened in January. In terms of my point system, so I'm starting at 0. Let's just start there. I'm starting at 0. I'm not gonna give myself any points to start off with because I want to build it up and feel like I've accomplished something. So we started the month, no points. The way that I view my point system is any point can be used to buy a makeup item. And obviously I can go in the negative, I go in the negative, I go in the negative. It is just what it is, and then I'll just try to work myself out of the negative. And then at the end of the video, I do talk about kind of other things outside of makeup. So any TV shows that I've been watching, movies I've been watching that are worth mentioning, things I hate or whatever. And today I will also be just shouting out the book that I'm currently reading because I'm so desperate to just finish it. There's only a few hundred pages left, but I'm like in that juicy spot where I'm like, I just want to read it, So anyway, that's it. Okay, let's start with the eyeshadow pans. I always find this a little bit more interesting than anything else. I have shared these on a short video that I've been posting this month, but I don't think one of them I've spoken about in a video. So just to understand how the point system works, any new eyeshadow pan that I hit counts as half a point. I'm not going to give myself a whole point for an eyeshadow pan. But any pan, it doesn't have to be eyeshadow, but for the most part it's going to be eyeshadow unless randomly I hit pan in a blush, which I am trying to do, or my bronzer, which will never happen. If that happens, I will speak about them, but for the most part, this is just going to be eyeshadow pans. So the first one is from the Corte Rosa from Sigma. This is my project level up. It was my level 1. It's rolled out now because I was able to obviously use all of the shades once, and I did end up getting my one little pan in this palette. It took me a little bit longer than expected, but yeah, that's the one that is kind of spoiler free because I've already spoken about it. The next one, I did show it in a short, but it is more of a spoiler for my Pan Those eyeshadows, which will be likely posted sometime next week, I believe. I've been working on the Jewels and Gem from Odin's Eye, and the shade that I have rolled in is this first one. This is the matte, and I did end up hitting pan on this last week. So that was very exciting. And then the third pan that I hit is actually from my Sample Beauty. This is a spoiler too. This is in my Pan Those Eyeshadows. And this is the Equalizer Volume 2 palette. I don't think you can get this anymore, sadly, but it was on a heavy discount at some point at Beauty Bay, and that's when I bought it. And I really have really enjoyed the formula. So the shade that I have in here is this one, and it's called Sweet. And this one I also hit pan on that same day that I hit pan on these others. So I actually hit pan in all three at the same time, which was very fun. So that right there, if I start at 0, that is 1.5 points that I now have in my beauty bank. Very, very exciting. Now, in terms of makeup empties, like I said, if you want me to include anything other than makeup in future, I can, but for the purpose of the point system, it's only just gonna be makeup items, and I have been really bad at finishing makeup items lately, so I'm actually pleased with this one, but it's also an item where I just always end up finishing these anyway after some time. This is the Misha 4D mascara. I think I opened it back in May or June, so it's been a long time. I've used as much as possible. It's all dried up now, and this has been like an empty for like the whole month. I think maybe I used it once and I was like, no, I can't use this anymore. So I only have this one for this month. I'm really hoping that I'll have more. I know I will have my Essence Hello Good stuff because this barely has anything left. So I know that will be in for next month. I'm hoping that potentially, I don't know, I can try to finish up a foundation because there's also a foundation in my project pan that really doesn't have that much product in. So hopefully this builds up. Okay, and then I did actually end up buying something. I was in the store and they love Essence here and Catrice, and they also have a little bit of W7 here in Portugal, but you definitely can find Essence and Catrice pretty much in every supermarket, more so than really any other makeup brand. So I was looking at the Essence aisle and I picked up one of the lip liners. This one, it's not a new product, but it's a new product for me. It's the 8 Hour Matte Comfort Liner. I actually have it on today. It's the shade Because It's Iconic, and I really wanted a really nice brown, just a nudie brown, and I feel like this doesn't have any of the pink where my other nude like brown sort of lip liner that I feel like is a nude is more of that pinky nude. So this one definitely gives me something different as opposed to the ones that I have. I will say I do like it. It goes on the lips beautifully. It is very, very creamy, and I think it might be just a little too creamy. It doesn't set down very well. I mean, I feel like it doesn't really dry. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of lip liner. It's not something that I generally buy all the time, but I'm getting a little bit more into it. And there's just some shades that I feel like I do need in my collection. This is one of them. But I will say, I think the formula is beautiful, but I don't know, like putting it on just felt lovely and so easy. But I don't know if the wearability is perfect for me, because I do think it is a little too creamy. So that's my only thing about it, but I'm saying that at the same time I do feel like I really, really like it. So there's that. This just, is it practical for me when I'm drinking my drink? I feel like it gets everywhere, but I'm also wearing a very glossy lipstick, so that also could be the reason. All right, so I have a new item, but I also finished a new item, so they canceled each other out. So at the end of the day, my beauty bag is just 1.5 points. Woohoo! I mean, it's not negative yet, so that's a plus. I haven't bought a huge amount of makeup, so that's good too. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I think the Cosmic Beauty palette that came out is stunning, so I do imagine that I potentially might get that, or I might wait. I'm not entirely sure, so don't hold me to it, but yeah, so far this is where we're at. Okay, just want to talk about a couple of things that I've been really enjoying this month, and I'm gonna call this section little new favorites / old favorites, because one of these is kind of an old favorite, but I still wanted to shout it out. I've been really enjoying it. I pulled this from my Shop My Stash. It's the NYX HD finishing powder. I have a massive pan. It's not like I'm trying to pan this, but I feel like it's going to go. I think it's one of the items that I wanted to pan this year as well. I think, yeah. So I potentially might have to buy another one of these. I've been really, really enjoying this, and the pan's just gone absolutely crazy this month because I did pull it from my Shop My Stash, and I didn't really pull that much powder. I pulled this and a loose powder, and I haven't really been enjoying the loose powder from Glamshop. It's their pink loose powder, and honestly, I don't think it's for me. So This is really the only one that I kind of have on hand unless I pull something else. And I think that's why the pan is expanded so much, but I really do like it. I think it's a very, very thin formula, and I think just from the purposes of me and how I use powder, I don't like it to look really, really cakey on my skin because I just don't think it looks good. And so a very light hand of this powder kind of works for me. I really like it. So I wanted to shout it out. It's definitely not a new favorite of mine, but this one is. So I have had this for maybe 5 months now, 6 months now. It's not a new item, but I had tried it maybe a couple times and didn't really have a good opinion about it. Either way, I wasn't really sure. But it's the Essence Skin Tint Hydrating Natural Finish Foundation. I mean, I use it as a foundation. It's light to medium coverage. I have it on today. I think it's beautiful. I don't think it's ultra light coverage, so definitely light to medium makes sense because I can see myself being able to build this up. It's got SPF as well. But I think the thing that I love about this, it does kind of make my skin look like skin at the end of the day, whereas a lot of my other foundations, it looks like I'm wearing foundation, whereas this one, yeah, you could say I'm wearing foundation, absolutely. It's not like it's my skin, but when I wear this compared to another foundation, I feel like this is my skin but better. And you kind of want your foundation to end up being like that. So this is really, I want to say, maybe my favorite foundation in my collection at this point. I'm going to put it out there. I also think the shade is really good for me. So this is the shade 30. Now, I don't know how many shades they have, but I just picked this up on a whim. I wasn't sure what shade I was going to be. I think because it's not ultra light, a lot of my foundations are just a little too pale for me, and I'm a little bit blind as to what color I should be because I end up making my face look so pale and then I have to bronze up, which is fine. It's just what happens. But with this one, I feel like I don't have to bronze up as much because it's more my skin tone, which is kind of ideal in a way. So I've been really, really enjoying this. If you like more serum-y foundation or skin tints, this is the way to go because it is more like a serum. It's very liquidy, but I just feel like it goes on the skin really nicely. I've used this in a few of my shorts. I feel like even in those videos, you can kind of see the difference of how my skin looks after using this versus, let's say, the this one, which is the Purito CC cream, which I also do like. And I also have this one. So these three I have out at the moment. These two are my Shop My Stash. This is for my project pan. So this is the NYX Bare With Me Tinted Skin Veil. Old item. This is the one that I hope to finish pretty soon. I've always enjoyed this, but again, this kind of just looks like foundation on the skin. Same for the CC cream from Purito. I really, really enjoy this. It's not too pale as opposed to some of my other foundations, but comparing these to this, where I really do like this, I think this still shines, and it's Essence. It's so affordable. So normally I don't really like Essence items, but the fact that I've just got a lip liner that I really enjoy, I've got this that I really enjoy, you know, it's hit and miss for me, but so far it's been a hit, so that's good. Okay, so let's talk some stats. So I will talk about my pan percentage just for anyone who is interested. It is 8.24% at the moment. It would be great to get more pans throughout the year. Like I said, I can't deny that I will most likely buy eyeshadow, so, you know, I think it's going to fluctuate, but 8% I think is fine. I think I've been as low as 5 or 6%, so, you know, I think over the years, I've been okay, but I have hovered around the same level. I've always said I'd like to get to 10%, but it is a silly number. Like, it's a silly goal, but it's still, you know, in my head, oh, it'd be nice to get to 10%. We'll see. Okay, and then lastly, I do have my two most used palettes. In terms of usage, not really like going into other shades in the palette, but in terms of like how many times I've gone into that palette, I have two here where they're both in projects, and the first one is the Sigma Quarter Rosa. So because I went into this shade quite a lot this month, this was actually my most used palette in terms of overall use. So I thought that was interesting. My second most used palette was the What's Your Power from GlossGods. As you know, I'm trying to hit pan in the yellow. Again, I went into it with this look, really heavy-handed, really trying to get there. Is there a pan? No, there is no pan. This is endless. This shade is endless. It will be very interesting at the end of the day how many uses it's going to take. But yeah, those are my two most used in terms of like how many uses I've done. So I thought that was interesting to note, but I think next month I will have a little bit more stats because I have not added in any of my Pan That palette use yet for January, and that will just roll on for February because obviously I haven't kind of finished the month since I started my Pan That palettes. So I want to give myself a full month before I track it in my tracker. So that one is not included. So I'm sure those will be the ones that have the most use eventually. All right, that's it on the makeup side. So let's just really quickly go through some movies because honestly, we haven't been watching that much. We watched a few in December, never spoke about any of them in my last beauty bank because I just really wasn't in the mood. But we watched Carry On, which I thought was really stupid. We actually didn't even finish it. It just kind of, it was so boring. I really didn't like it. I gave it 2 star. Which honestly might be a little bit high. We watched Beetlejuice, obviously the second Beetlejuice. Did not care for this at all. I gave it 2 star. And we watched Red One. Just talking about like new movies. We did watch like older movies like Home Alone and stuff, but I don't need to talk about that. But these are like the newer movies that we watched. And Red One I gave a 3 star. I thought it was okay. And then this month I watched some really weird movies. So we watched The Platform 2, which is really gross. We had seen the first one, and for some reason, you know, we wanted to watch the second one, which is actually a prequel to that one too. This is a French foreign movie, I believe. Is it French or Italian? I can't remember, but it is, I wouldn't recommend it. No, wouldn't recommend it. Watched Alien Romulus, which was fine. I did give it a 3.5. I actually thought it was fine. I like the Alien franchise. I've watched all of the movies. You could say I'm a fan, but there's definitely some that are worse than others. I still think the second movie, Aliens, is my favorite, but I also kind of grew up with that movie as a young child. You shouldn't really be watching those types of movies, but I had an older brother, so I did have definitely watched, you know, movies I probably shouldn't have at that age, and it was a movie that I kind of grew up knowing about. And then you can't really beat the first movie. The first movie is very good. I really loved Prometheus, where everybody hated Prometheus. I actually really loved that one. So the fact that this kind of does connect to Prometheus in some way, and that side of the alien lore was interesting, but I felt like the casting choices for this movie was a little bit off. I would have preferred the cast to be maybe looking a little older because they all looked very young to me, but maybe that's just me because I'm old. No, I don't know, but they looked very young. So I was a little thrown off by that, but otherwise it was fine. It was fine. It's not my favorite Alien movie. I know a lot of people thought it was so good. I don't agree, but I thought it was fine. Then we watched John Wick Chapter 4. I don't know why we watched this. It is like over 2 hours long. We watched it in 2 days. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a John Wick fan, but we watched this, so I don't think I even watched the second one or the third one, but for some reason we watched Chapter 4. And then we watched Back in Action, and this one was just a silly action comedy. I gave it 2.5. It was fine. John Wick I gave 2.5 as well. I think I zoned out a lot of the time and I was scrolling on social media. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of it is just all the same stuff, and I feel like it just reminded me of all the other like John Wick movies that I'd seen, which I'd definitely seen the first one. I might have seen the second one, maybe parts of it, but yeah, it just seemed like the same story over and over again and not very interesting in my mind. But anyway, that's all the movies. I think TVs are just a little bit more interesting. So we did watch and finish Dune Prophecy. We liked the first 2 like Dune movies. Never read the book or anything, so I don't really know too much about it. But Dune Prophecy happens, I think, like 10,000 years before them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be completely wrong by that. But I thought it was, I actually really liked it. I thought it was filmed really lovely. I thought the CGI was good. I didn't actually, it felt like it was, they put a lot of effort into it, and I really liked that, and it wasn't just one of these Disney knockoff, which it wasn't created by Disney, so I think I appreciated it quite a lot because it looked like it wasn't just churned out just to make money, even though it is, because it's a spin-off, but I do think that they put some effort into how it looked visually, and they had some decent acting in there. and I liked it. I actually liked it. I'm hoping that they come back with the next season because I know it has mixed reviews. So, but I'm hoping that they do that because I would like to see what happens, you know, following the story. I don't want to give it away, but I liked following the Truthsayers. I thought that was an interesting, you know, interesting concept. I also watched Black Doves this month. Watched a lot of TV. I've been kind of pigging out and being a couch potato a little bit, but I watched Black Doves with Keira Knightley, and it's far-fetched, but I actually like this TV show. I thought it's fine. It's on Netflix. A show that I'm currently watching right now is Severance, and that's on Apple TV. And I'm still in the first season. It has 2 seasons. I tried watching this last year. I'm not gonna lie. I tried watching it last year. I watched half of the first episode and I turned it off and I was like, that's a weird show. I'm not sure I like that. And then randomly, like a week ago, I put it on, started right from where I left off, like in the middle of the first episode. And now I've just been watching it every other day. So I think it's really weird. It's really weird, really interesting, because you kind of know you kind of want to know what's going on, just like the characters, you have no clue. It's very bizarre, and I know that there's another season. So I'm interested to see where the story goes. Okay, and then current read at the moment is actually this Quicksilver, which you would have seen if you're into books. Everybody's talking about this. I mean, not everyone, but it is everywhere. And this is, I mean, I can understand why. I've been really enjoying it. I'm here, so I only have this much left. And it's really fun. I don't know, I've been really enjoying it. So if you kind of like A Court of Thorns and Roses and things like that, I think you'll like this, especially if you like Reese. I think you'll like this. If you know, you know. But anyway, I've been really, really enjoying that. And like I said, I just want to finish it. I'm probably going to finish it today. So that's everything for this video. Hopefully I can grow my beauty bank, get the point system up, and then obviously at the point where I do see things that I want to buy, I have the points there. I think it's more just for me to stay accountable, and if I see that I'm still buying a lot of stuff and not really finishing things, then maybe I need to be stricter with myself. But for now, we're just gonna go with that and see how it goes. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.